Yo, what is up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Style by Los, and today we're going to be talking about how I became an entrepreneur by the age of 23. And if you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And if you already are, please hit that notification button so you get a notification every time I post. And at the end of this video, if you guys like it, please hit the thumbs up so I can get some feedback on how you guys enjoyed this video, so I can make similar things or kind of detour from making stuff like this. To start from the beginning, I played college football for 4 years at North Texas on a full scholarship. And at my 4th year, after the football season was over, I just decided to stop going to school. Because first of all, I'm not really a person that learns by the book. I learn by hands-on experiences, trial and error situations and stuff like that. Within that time frame of the 4 years, I ended up fucking up my credit. So after I did leave college, I had to sleep on my sister's couch for probably 7 to 8 months. I got like a little serving job at Zena, which is a Thai restaurant. They serve sushi and stuff down here. I was making a little bit of money, but still blowing my money because I was hanging out with the wrong people and just drinking every single weekend to the point where I was blacking out and not remembering the night. Ended up going through that little trial and error phase of serving at Zena. Started to turn things around and got a job at Lexus. I was gonna be making around $12 an hour. And up to this point throughout college, I posted on Instagram, was very active on Instagram through the 2016 point up till now when people really weren't on this influencer wave. So my following grew to probably about 25,000 when I was coming out of college. And I had been on YouTube a couple of different times, just doing tapering jeans, DIY stuff, nothing really crazy, outfit of the days, just simple stuff. I was actually getting a bit of viewership, just didn't really take it seriously. Same thing with Instagram. It's kind of just something I did on the side with my friends and kind of just hung out. Now, speeding up, back to me being a valet for $12 an hour. I was making a little bit of money from Instagram because I did end up collaborating with Puma for like a 6-month contract where I got paid like $500 a picture throughout the month, but I will only be posting one time. So making a little bit of money from that. I'm doing valet. I had to wear long sleeves because I have tattoos down my whole entire arm. So imagine being in the Texas heat, 105-degree weather, getting into cars that have leather seats and it being extremely hot. That shit gets old really quick, and Lexus was my first full-time job. It is my last full-time job that I will ever have. So within 5 months of being there, I ended up quitting, and at this time, I'd already moved out of my sister's. I was in a 1.5 bedroom with a roommate because, again, my credit was still screwed up, and I was only paying like $500 a month for rent, which like I skated out with that because we were splitting like, I think $900 to maybe $1,000 in rent, and I had the room, so I was paying more. Working at Lexus was probably the most humbling thing that I've ever done because I've always been like ahead of the curve as far as my friends and being successful, but I took a step back because I had to regroup my whole life from going from college, everything being taken care of, to me now paying bills. It was just kind of a growing up period for me, which was good and helped me get to where I am now. Working at Lexus 5 months in, I wanted to take a trip to New York to kind of like take this Instagram shit seriously. And my boss was like, yo, we think a week in New York is excessive. The thing is they let this other guy who had been working there like like 5 months after I had came, go to Mexico for a month. So I'm looking around like, yo, I'm going to New York. Either I have a job when I get back or I don't. So at that point, I leave Lexus, and then I head to New York. I probably had like $2,000 and then like my last paycheck coming in from the little 40 hours I worked the previous week, which only got me probably maybe $500. Went to New York. I ended up linking up with a bunch of different people that I'm now very close friends with and helped me get to where I am now. Godly Center, Nick, my friend Justin, I met Kevin. I met so many different people that helped me cross-collaborate, build my brand in a different place, and just start to expand my network just beyond Texas. Because here in Texas, I would say I'm probably the only male fashion blogger that has worked with PacSun, Foot Locker, Nike, Urban Outfitters, Sky Vodka, you name it, I've probably worked with them. And me being like the only person in Dallas that does that, every time a campaign comes here, I get it. So I got to build my brand that way. But going to New York, I met a bunch of different people. I shot for my first brand that was actually like paid. It's called Anel. He's from Paris. And I ended up shooting that. So it paid for my trip, the airfare. But I ended up staying with one of my dad's friends because, you know, going to New York, it's gonna cost you probably $1,000 to $1,500 just to stay somewhere, and I didn't have that type of money, so luckily I skidded out. My dad got me a place to stay up there on my first trip, and then I just kept working, kept shooting different stuff, and just kept building my portfolio and like I said, expanding and meeting new people. And from there, I took a trip to Vegas immediately after I left New York, knowing I didn't have the money to do it, but I knew that it was important because it was the Agenda trade show. And this was, like I said, like 3 years ago when Agenda trade show was kind of still on the rise, kind of coming down, but it was still a thing. I ended up collecting like most of every company's card that was there, like brands. And I came back to Texas with literally probably $500 in my bank account, and I was like on my last like dime. So my grandmother passed away. She actually left me like $3,000, which I say this to this day helped me get to where I am now. Like every dollar went towards building my brand, expanding my brand, photography, videography, everything to build my personal brand up. That's what I use that money for, and I cherish that stuff to this day because I personally, I don't know where I would be if I didn't have that money. I obviously would have kept pushing, but it would have been a little bit more difficult for me to move around because I ended up taking another trip that boosted my following again with that money. So when I got back from Texas, I emailed probably 30, 40, 50, 60 brands a day, just boom, 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 yo, can we collaborate? Yo, can we work? And at this time, I was sitting around 30,000 followers. I'm just asking for $150 for 4 posts. That is outrageously cheap. So pushing it out, gaining brands, gaining traction, my name's getting out there as far as the influencer network, and I'm starting to work with like a bunch of different brands that I never thought I would work with. One being Nike. When I first got my first Nike collaboration, that was probably one of the proudest moments that I have to this day. And then just working with people like Volvo, working with people like Urban Outfitters, PacSun, like those are achievements that I think I overlook sometimes, but it's just still crazy to me that I've done those type of things. And from that point on, I continued to build my personal brand, traveled to Miami, built up a following there, started cross-collaborating, doing giveaways, building my following up because at the end of the day, like I told my dad, I wanted to achieve 100,000 followers, which I do set at right now before the algorithm just fucked everything up. And then from there, I got presented an opportunity to, I won't say it was an opportunity, I would say a seed was planted in my head that, yo, bro, you've built your personal brand, your personal content is A1. Why don't you start a marketing company? And I ended up starting a marketing company. It didn't end up working out because I was doing 99% of the work and I was splitting the pay, and I didn't feel like that was the thing or the route that I wanted to go. So I ended up signing over my 50% of that marketing company because it was just me, and ended up starting what you now know as Harris Marketing and Media Group. And from there, man, it was just like hitting the ground running. And my first opportunity came from me going to lunch with my friend Rochelle at Grabber Green Addison, which is still one of my clients now. And this is when I wore a bandana at the time. For anybody that's followed me for a couple of years, you know I wore a bandana for literally 2 years straight. So I walked in, we're sitting down there having lunch, and he's like, yo, are you a rapper? And I'm like, no. I actually do social media management and content creation. So that's how my first deal sparked. And from there, I had no idea how to literally run someone's Instagram because I only ran my personal one. But if you've been around me, I've put myself in a bunch of uncomfortable situations, but I go home and study and figure out how to achieve what I'm supposed to achieve. So I went home, studied food content, and then got the deal for basically next to nothing. I don't even think I made a dime. I probably made like $100 off of that whole damn deal, and we did probably 3 videos, pictures, and all the rest of the stuff. But I knew at the end of the day that if we could achieve this, I could use this and put this in my portfolio as my marketing company, and then I could start pitching other people. Long story short, we ended up landing that deal, killing it, and got a deal with the gym next door. Ended up shooting videos for them. That's my first fitness video stuff. So we were just 2 kids like winging it. It was me and like my old photographer that literally, we just did pictures, we did video, it was literally just 2 of us. And then I'm running people's social medias as my clientele continues to build, and I've got hundreds of alarms set. Post this time, story post this time. It's becoming super overwhelming because our content was really good, and like I've told people a lot, I've never put any marketing dollars behind my actual company. It's really just been word of mouth, which is the most powerful tool in marketing anyway. And stuff just continued to build from there. So that's how I ultimately formed my first company. I say that's my first company, but my first company is really my personal brand. And from there, man, I just continued to study marketing and learn the ins and outs of it, and just started to make a lot more money. It wasn't anything like super big, but it was enough money for me to pay my bills, have enough to eat, and have a little bit of money to travel too. So I traveled more. I went to Miami. I cross-collaborated out there with a couple of different brands, kept building my company while building my personal brand at the same time. I was shooting every day. Like, I was obsessed. Shooting, editing, pushing out content. I'm posting every single fucking day because I wanted it that bad. I was literally willing to sleep on the fucking street before I went back to a job. If I ever had to go back to a job, I would save up, quit, and then pursue my dreams again. That's like my whole mindset on entrepreneurship. I mean, I kinda could see, like, from my childhood, looking back now, that the little characteristics that I had, I was built for entrepreneurship. I never really took well to authority, which is one. I was always creative. I always figured out ways to make money, and I was always just a creative person. And as I grew my company, I had an office at this building that we're now in now, that Nep Studios sits in, and it was 2 failing co-working spaces that I was a part of. Well, not a part of, I just had my office there. And I was on my way out the building, and literally building owner hit me up, was like, yo, what do you think about taking over one of these floors? And a couple of years back, me and a couple of buddies, you know, were looking into opening up maybe like a studio, but not really a co-working space. So I had no fucking idea how I was gonna pull off taking over a whole floor, filling out a whole floor, and making this shit cash flow positive. But, rewind, I met my business partner, Cartel, which I landed one of the biggest deals to date with my marketing company, with Briggs Freeman. We do agent videos for them, and the deal ended up being $75,000. And that all came from him following me on my personal Instagram and seeing me build my company and the work that we put out. So it all comes full circle. It all goes back to my personal brand. So if you're looking to get into entrepreneurship, you have to build your personal brand first. Be known. It's not to say like you can't just go build a company, but for you to have a personal brand and then start building other companies, it just all feeds into it. So I ended up getting that deal. And it was like perfect timing because when I met him, I didn't know a lot about just fucking boosting the Wi-Fi, setting up the MacBooks. These are things that I could figure out, but it came a time to where just like I was able to kind of do my thing. He does this thing and it combines, and it turned into Nep Studios, which is a creative co-working space, which leads me to my second business that I own. And it's a place where creatives can come here and thrive. There's MacBooks with all the editing software. It's the studio that I'm shooting in right now. And common areas, there's office spaces. There's a bunch of different stuff around here that literally anybody can use and be successful and just grow your business, because right now we're all small businesses and we want to continue to grow. So that, along my entrepreneurship journey, has just helped me become a better people person. I still struggle a lot with getting frustrated with people because my mindset is, if I can do this, you can do this, but I have to understand that everybody's not wired the same, and I've come to a conclusion that not everybody fucking functions the way that they're supposed to. but it is what it is. Yeah, so just through this 3-year journey, I've just basically winged this shit. And that's no lie. I've just winged it at a professional level to where I was able to now move out and live in my loft that is 1,000 square feet and have the shoe collection that I always dreamed of. And it's really just been a journey of trial and error. I've met people along the way, I've lost people along the way, I've lost a lot of money, I've gained a lot of money, I've spent a lot of money. I wasn't very smart with my money at one point. I put myself in bad situations. But again, I'm a person who learns from trial and error situations. So I think that if you're looking to pursue entrepreneurship, I say just fucking go for it. Because at the end of the day, no one wants to live with regret of not going for something that they really wanted to do. Like I said, coming out of college, I had zero interest in anything besides drinking. That was it. And it's just crazy how like the life path has taken me up to this point. And I just believe with hard work, consistency, and sacrifice that you're able to achieve anything. There comes a point where you have to be selfish. There was a year long period where I was selfish, and that's okay because I had to get somewhere and get to a point where I could help others. And that's the point where I'm at now. I'm not like crazy, I'm not rich. I mean, I have good money for a 25-year-old, but I just want to put myself in positions to help other people win. And now having my company, I'm able to provide extra income for now 3-4 other people. It's not a salary because I'm still building the company, but it just shows you that hard work and dedication will get you wherever the fuck you want in life. And I just want you guys to know that. And that's kind of how I became an entrepreneur in a nutshell. I think there's a lot more to come. My next little move is going to be investing in real estate and just making that mailbox money at that point. Money while you sleep, that's the only way that you're going to get rich. Because right now I'm still having to physically be somewhere to get paid or be on projects. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe to my channel. If you didn't like it, let me know if it was too lengthy, but I tried to put everything in a nutshell. And I greatly appreciate all my supporters, and I hope this was an authentic message for you guys to get to know me a little bit better outside of what you just see on Instagram. So I will see you guys next time. Peace.